Hey Nick. Now that we have most of our Bumblebee rigged the way we want, so we have a couple of things left, such as the wings on the door, like all this. So now we're gonna start from the bottom up, and we'll start with the leg and adding details, like my little details, minor details and stuff like that, like removing like tires, making sure like the tire have a place for it. So those are the things that we're gonna be working with. Let's not waste any time and just like dive in it, and I'll explain a little bit, and then I'll just spit up some stuff there. All right, let's look at our mesh. We're gonna lower legs, and we can just hide everything else. Let's hide everything. Nope, that's too much. So probably just need the lower leg. Might need, yeah. You know what? Let's start with the ankle first. So with this, it's gonna be a little complicated just to even do this process. So for us, we already know what this is gonna be. We want it to rotate around the tire and have the same exact information, like rotations and stuff like that. So we want to take the information from the tire and place it. But what you see here, and if we look at the tire and stuff like that, it has a zero. It's kind of crooked and stuff like that. We have to make sure to get the very center just to rotate exactly in that position. There's a lot of ways we can do this. I'm going to show you one way, and the easy way, and the tedious way, you would say, and then the way I do it. I'll drag a locator and put it somewhere where I know I can find the location for it. So you can see it's actually facing the world. Even if I'm going to object mode, it's still gonna facing the world, which that's not something that I want. I want to face the object. So for me, I could just say, all right, let's get the face normal, trying to as best, and that is very tedious. Like for me to start doing something like that, and there you go. That's fair. Let's take that off. That's close as I can get, and that would give me something like that, and that would actually fix the object mode. But I might be off a little bit, and then there's ways you can, or you can just like add a let's bring the let's look at our local, and these are the local. We can go ahead and get our local wherever we want it our local to be. We could do that. Like for example, we can just try our best just to match something, or even like just to match this, and that would actually give us a local position, um, which still not giving you the actual orientation of that, but it gives you the orientation of the object, but still not giving you the orient of the object. So if I would have just placed an object and I want to create, so this is actually a perfect job. It actually understand where the orientation is. So and that could be really good, and we can face it on that. It's not This one's not that tedious and stuff like that. And the first one would be a little tedious, but a lot of ways that I found myself doing, and it's still gonna give me it's still taking this. As you can see, there's a lot of information in there. So now I would have to go freeze my transformation again, and once I freeze that transformation, guess what? And now we going back to the same problem again. We don't want that. That's some way to do it. But if you somebody like me, I really do not like to do things twice or with a lot of effort. So I usually try to automate everything that I've done, especially when it comes to rigging. Let's just say I want to know the middle. I already know the middle of this. So now I wanted to make sure that I have the middle and then the facing the exact object. The easiest way to do it, if I'm looking here, I'm just eyeballing right now. So I have this one. Since we know this is the middle, I can go ahead and try to see if I can find the middle right around here. All right, this is it. Now, I wanted to be able to get the object. So I'm putting that script on the link below, so you guys can access that script also. So I'm going to, all right, here we go. So now you can see, now it's facing exactly on the object, what I need. But this is where I want it to be. Now we have a locator exactly facing the object. So now I can just place my object. into that locator. Now I can just grab the locator now. This is gonna be for the retract right here, and let's increase it a little bit more, just like so. It's fine. And I don't need the scale, so I'm gonna freeze the scale and also freeze transformation, delete history. So all right, I have a perfect, and I can since I'm gonna need it for the tire and also for the retract, so I can duplicate that, and knowing that they're all gonna be matching the exact same. All right. So for this, I'm gonna create about six jobs. So this one doesn't matter like where you put it, because they both the exact same location. So we'll notice that both of them has the exact like reset to 0. So it doesn't matter where you place them, since they both. I think that's about it. Let's see. We probably need one more. Let's see. GRP, offset, extra, and then curve. Yep, that's about it. So let's rename these. And this one's going to be, I'm just going to take the name exactly from the tire. And we'll rename this. And one's going to be replaced by underscore GRP, and 2 replaced by offset GRP. And 3 going to replace by extra offset GRP, and then 4 will be control. Doing so I'm gonna I can just put it by hand. So we'll do the exact same thing for this. We actually, just to make everything easier for me to distinguish between those two, so I'm gonna use a gear. I'm just gonna place the gear over here. So I'm gonna rotate it. The rotation doesn't matter. It's how it creates matters. So I'll just place it right around here. Right around here is perfect. And then I'm just going to take my retract. I'm gonna change it. Change how it looks and define it. And again, like I said, the rotation doesn't matter on the one that I create. So we can just delete this. And let's go ahead and oops. Don't want that. Oops. Yeah. This one has a handle. So handle take priority. If you look at here, so handle take priority over everything. The next one is would be joints, and then the next one is curve. So all right, that's perfect. I can even decrease it just a tiny little bit. That's perfect. Now we know the rotation still, the access point still here, and it's perfectly where we want it to be. Now we're going to put this in a group because we wanted to make sure that it stay and within that group, but within its own group. So doing this same thing with track. No, this is where its location is. It doesn't really matter for the location for this, because it will take the pivot from there once I parent constraint. So you can do a center pivot however you want, or you can place the pivot, manually place the pivot, or if you have a script, you can do all that. But for the pivot of this location, it doesn't really matter, because it's taking the pivot from this guy right here. So this is something that you probably have seen me done in the previous tutorial. If I'll select one character, one object, and once I hit parent, it will parent the top node. So I have it to look for the very first top node, because this considered as a nested child. So what I want to parent is the very top node. So I'll demonstrate it a little bit. So for example, if I have, let's just say I have this being the controller here, and you have a very top node. The top node is mesh ankle. That's the very, very top node. For each top node has a group under it, which would consider the parent, and or would consider as sub-parent, whatever it is. But this is the very top node of this object. So instead of trying to grab this top node every time, or even like sometimes it's like really, really hectic, especially when you don't name, like I have like over 10,000 of object here, and it's a lot, and a lot of time I end up naming the top node instead of the object itself. So I know the sub object, especially working with mechanical, robotic, all this stuff, I try not to, but keep a habit of always renaming your object, every single thing. But for this, I'm just gonna leave everything, but I will just rename the top nodes. So let's go on. I would have to click the parent, you would say, and click on the top object itself to make a parent, and then I'll go constraint and do a parent constraint or a scale constraint. So for this, I have all the things that I need here. So I can just select the object and select a child for the parents that I need, and I can just hit parent. And as you can see, it is only parenting the top node, and I can do the exact same thing with the scale. Now we have something like somewhere we want it to be, which is pretty cool. Now we'll do the exact same thing with the tire. So we'll take the tire here, and let's select a child from the top node, and we'll just parent and scale that. So we should have something like, we can move our tire, we can move or retract, and that's pretty good. What can we do with that? So we can either, let's just say, so we can create a custom attribute to retract the tire. But first, we need to make sure when we move our tire, when we move our foot, it moves the tires also. So we're going to add a null right here. Let's grab a null object, and this null right here is going to control the FK controller. So it's going to be on the FK setup. So we can say to parent to ankle. FK. We can do FK underscore parent to ankle. And this is the one that we're going to be parenting to. So let's go to our control setup and FK setup, and we want to do parent it right in here, making sure that we have everything selected and parent. So we have everything parenting. So now if we were to do the exact same thing, meaning that select any controller and then go to a parent, this is what considered as the top node now. So we got to be careful of where we do a script, because I might just like do a sub button where it could just like parent it straight or parent to the top node, or a lot of time I'm trying not to go into menu at all, and that's why I have a lot of windows open, because I do not like going to a menu and just to do things over and over again. All right, so and then you do not want to parent it into a controller also. So what you want to do, especially when you doing like mechanical stuff, like you wanted to parent it to a driver that's always driven. So no, not always driven, that's always driving. So it would be the joint itself, because we can switch to IK and FK, and the joint will always be active. So you want to actually place it under a joint instead of a controller. So we can take our joint and parent the parent to ankle parent, and we'll do also a scale. There we go. Now we can take the two controller that we have here and place it right under our parent. to ankle. And now if we move our foot, and our controller moves also. Cool, awesome. Now the last thing we need to do is getting the retract going here. So we can do a custom attribute here. We'll have a retract. We'll just do a play. Don't want anything like that. We're gonna give it a name, which would be retract. So that would be the time when you would do left and right together at the same time. But I am planning on doing the right side, and like it'll just me clicking a button, and then it'll just do this for me, because I'm trying to do everything by hand so you guys can understand what I'm doing. And if I'm doing like, you know, any automate stuff, like you'll understand, hey, this is the process. All right, so we'll do a retract, time retract into the lowercase. I'll have to start with lowercase in there, and we'll do a float 0 and then 10. That should be good, and we can just hit. Now we have a tire retract here. So we're gonna do a really quick, what I like to do with my, especially creating like step-driven keys, I like to create the major keys. That's it. So I would say, I don't need this window. I would say this is gonna be the driver, in which I need the retreat, and these two, this is why I have extra offsets. These are things like I always give the animator control to tweak anything. So I'll use the offset for my driver. And if I need to do any expression, I have the extra offset where I can do my expression. And if the animator needs to tweak some more, I can also give them another controller to do anything. So I'll use the offset to create my set-driven key, and I'll just do a set-driven key on almost everything, because I don't know which one. I already know which one I'm going to use, but this is for tutorial purposes, so I'm going to show you how I do things. So I'll just hit a key, and I would key everything, and then go to 10, and like, which is the maximum, and I can also hit a key there also. This is how I like to do things. But in this section, I'm going to place where I want this to be, and where I want the tire to be. I'm not going to do any rotation, so I'm just going to place it right here. It's not going to be perfect, but you know, I can tweak it, or later we can tweak. And this is where I want to start, and I'll just hit OK, and that's it. So now if I go, and this is not perfect. So now what I usually do, and it's go ahead and get my animation graph, and this is where I tweak everything that I need to be tweaking. So I'm going to be tweaking these guys, so it would be the those two offsets right here. So I'm going to start with the retract first. Now we got everything where we want it to be, but there's some things that still not proper. Like for example, like the brake. is rotating with the tire, which is not believable at all. And now everything's perfectly fine, and my brake state remain the same. All right. So let's bring our leg back and see what else we have. Not the tail, probably the lower back, lower. So now, if we would have rotated, now there's still an obstacle right here that needs to be addressed. So let's address this by placing I'm gonna place another.